All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Four Sides of the Ring. It's Justin and Casey. We're here to talk Smackdown tonight. Interesting episode of Smackdown, to say the least. A lot going on. But the action was a little meh, in my opinion.
I don't think this episode was really about the matches.
Yeah, I don't think
we
so
had
either.
quite a few promos that were cut. That were actually pretty damn good. Let's see. All right. And I don't think we started the night with a promo, did we?
Yeah, we started with...
Was it Randy's
Randy.
promo? All right, so Randy's promo.
So Randy came out right off the bat.
He's going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
And the man cut just a fire promo.
Oh, yeah. It's called Randy's Going to Kill Kevin. We now know this because he is going to punt his head off.
Punt Kevin's head off. Oh, my goodness. He was... Well, he says in the middle of that promo, he's like, I was right there and I could hear the voices. So the voices are talking to Randy again, and he's listening. No, he talked about a lot of stuff, talked
about John and his heel turn. And how he hit the bottom for The Rock.
He's The Rock's.
And then was basically saying, you get what I'm hinting at? The Rock bottom.
He's The Rock's bottom now.
Oh, God,
Well, a big part of what I thought was interesting is that he played off a lot of what Kevin's doing is jealousy.
Right.
Like why he went after Cody, why he went after Sami Zayn, why he went after Randy and all that. It's just, he's playing it off as jealousy. He's jealous of a lot of things. Not that Kevin has a need to be jealous, but at the end of it, he's like, you pissed me off.
Oh, yeah.
So Randy Orton's going to be going after Kevin. So we'll see how that goes. If that's before we get to WrestleMania or a little bit more.
I'm sure we'll get plenty in the next several weeks before WrestleMania, on top of the fact that I'm sure Sammy will be back before then.
Yeah, I don't know I haven't seen anything from Sammy.
I haven't heard any reports of how bad he's injured or
roughed up he is.
So we'll definitely have to see on that one.
But fire promo for sure. First one, which then we went into the first match of the night.
Damien was shown attacked by Drew backstage.
That's true. Drew
before the first match starts.
And then he was, that was quick and freaking Drew, man.
Yeah, Drew's just throwing more of his fits.
Yeah, he throws.
And they tend to get him in more trouble than it's worth. Because now, he's picking fights with Damien. Fights that he doesn't need to be picking with him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what we see there. And we go to our first match, which is Tiffany and Trish. Or not Tiffany and Trish, but Trish was there.
Tiffany and Piper.
Yeah, Tiffany and Piper in a non-title match.
Just a match.
Which, from what I understand, was an okay match. I have yet to even see it. I've read about it, but that was about it. Like, I've read it on a couple of different result sites. It was an okay match.
Nah, it was. I mean, like most of the matches on the night, they were fine. The match turned out the way you think it would. Tiff wasn't gonna lose,
Right.
but the big part of the match was the part after the match when Charlotte jumps in and jumps Tiffy.
Yeah.
You know, and then she puts her in the. Oh, I forgot what the move's called. Her hold.
Chop block.
And until, you know, the refs.
The figure eight.
Yeah, the figure eight. You know, so Charlotte's just out there asserting her dominance. Although it was good to see Charlotte come out and do something more than just talk. You know.
Well, she's still got a lot of ground
She does, but
to cover just to make it feel like she's earned this. In my opinion, because I will say right now, I really still don't think she's really earned
that title
shot. It just feels like it was given to her.
It was, but I mean, it's good she came out though. It's good that she was there and did something because a lot of it feels like she just floating her way to WrestleMania without putting in any effort. So
no story behind it, which means, like we were saying last show, they're not going to have a main event. So I mean, maybe this is going to be the turnaround where they start developing a story between each other. Because let's face it, I mean, if you were watching WrestleMania back in the Attitude Era, they usually cut a big sequence video before the match showing the two wrestlers on their road against each other, and it was just massively huge, where it's not always that way. Like, they hit their highlights, but really it's too little.
yeah,
So definitely need a good story to your road to WrestleMania. All right. So the next match, continuing on, which Tiffy won that match. Obviously, she wasn't going to lose. So following that match, it was a triple threat tag team match for the next number one contenders for the tag team championships, which had all the teams of Motor City Machine Gun versus Pretty Deadly versus Los Garzas. I probably butchered that name. So now this one on the result pages I get, because again, I have not seen this match. I usually try and get the highlights on YouTube the best I can, or Instagram. They're usually pretty good, but all I've been getting since yesterday is the promos. I'm not seeing any of the matches. I mean, granted, I haven't thoroughly dug to find them or anything, but everyone's more interested in what the promos were about rather than the actual matches. But from what I understand, it was a pretty decent back and forth match. And then you saw, like you were saying last time Pretty Deadly was in a match, you saw fire from them that was a change. It's definitely a change. They haven't been this way for a minute, so.
Well, yeah, Pretty Deadly have been on top of their game for quite for a few minutes now, a few weeks. But everyone came out kind of brawling in this fight. Like, it only took them like a minute till everyone was in the ring attacking each other.
Yeah.
And the way they were going, they were all fighting to be the legal man in the ring. It took them a little bit to really get to wrestling properly, but it was a good match. Everyone, they're all good teams. Like, the tag team division on SmackDown is pretty good. Like, there's a lot more going on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, they've got more teams on SmackDown.
Yeah. Like, the SmackDown division here, they're all doing really well, and the fact that there's so much hatred between all the teams, they're all trying to kill each other, adds to it. So it was a really good brawl. And there, but
it was still just another match for the night.
Match.
I mean, let's face it, every match tonight, like we've been saying this whole show, have been drowned out by the promos.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Pretty Deadly ended up winning.
Yeah, they ended up getting the win,
which gives them the number 1 contender spot
against whoever wins the match against DIY and the Street Profits.
So,
which honestly, if I've got a state now, I hope it's Street Profits.
It's probably going to be the Street Profits.
Nothing against DIY, but Street Profit have a lot more going for them for that those tag titles. DIY is fine, but I've always liked the Street Profits.
I think the Street Profits they're a pretty deadly team anyway.
Oh yeah. They both have they both have the muscle behind them, but they have that agility that you just don't see when you have muscle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's the crazy thing about today compared to years ago. If you had big muscle, you didn't have very much agility.
Right.
Where it's like these guys are pretty ripped and they're doing things. I mean, it wasn't rare to see big guys in the old days do cool moves. Like, Big Show used to do quite a bit. Freaking Rikishi did quite a bit back in his day when he would take some clotheslines. That was actually pretty crazy to see him do like a corkscrew 360 flip. And it's like, Big Show's a big guy. So it's like, for him to be able to do that,
so
pretty talented. So, but you've got these, 6-foot guys doing huge flips over the ropes.
Right.
Just crazy.
So
I think that'll be a better match.
Is that match next week?
I believe so. It does not specify here.
It specifies, but so we'll see that, and then we'll get the.
Oh, geez. Gonna have to rewatch the entrances of this when I find them. Says the pyro for the MCMG's entrance was just slightly off tempo. That's crazy.
But so more fun to come. Like, these matches are always fun. They've been highly entertaining tag matches this last weeks.
Well, that's what we need is a good tag division. But the problem is too, you just don't have a lot of people who are in tag teams. Because most of the guys out there are singles players.
Singles, yeah.
Or you get a good tag team like you had the Usos and they create a story, which I'm not ragging on it. I love the story going on. I love seeing Jimmy and Jay get their singles, but it's always been the repeat of the tag story. Yeah. After so long a time, we're gonna go down the road of splitting you up, and you two are gonna go your separate ways. I mean, it happened with the Hardys, it happened with Edge and Christian, happened with the Dudleys for a minute, and that was weird. Well, that's the thing. So Devon Dudley, instead of being this, redneck hillbilly type like the Dudleys were, he became a Reverend Dudley or Devon. I can't remember, but he was basically a preacher, and it was kind of funny to watch him do that.
That's funny.
It was good because through most of that time in WWE's era, they were split up. They were done.
Yeah.
And then Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, he went actually to TNA, and then Devon followed. I don't know how long after, but then they did a huge, almost NWO like faction called the Aces and Eights. They were like a motorcycle club, and they were going after like AJ Styles and all those guys in TNA. And then after they left TNA, they both came back as the Dudley Boys again, and really that's where they stayed. I think Bubba left again, but Devon chose he wanted to stay, which was, good for him because he does more in the back now. And then Bubba's come back and forth. He's still a part of it, which he's, speaking of Bubba, he's had some words to say about Travis and giving Cody that shiner. And it's just been crazy. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you go watch it on his podcast, because he's basically stating Travis has got a receipt coming for him, and he hopes it's going to be Cody who gives it to him. If not, he better hope to God he doesn't run into Bubba Ray anytime soon. Just because, he wanted, in Bubba's words, he wanted to feel like a bad man, a tough guy. Which, honestly, you watch that video and you're like, okay, dude, like, you meant to hit him. But then at the same time, I've heard Cody told him, make it worth it, dude. Like, hit me. So who knows what really happened, because Cody's stating he didn't even touch him, which we can clearly see. Yeah, he did. He hit you.
Yeah, Cody's going to have to be the decider on that one. Just he was the one that got.
Well, quite a few wrestlers that don't wrestle anymore are really not happy about that. Like, they're calling him like an asshole and shit. But anyway, so after the tag match that Pretty Deadly took the win, we cut into another fire promo. And, I know a few people were kind of making fun of this on my Instagram, at least, saying this was just drama. But, I mean, that's part of the entertainment industry, guys, drama. And two girls crying, yeah, that has it's a drama effect. And I think Bianca and Naomi they hit it. They hit it on a coffin, and
what are you tuning in for if you don't like the drama?
Right? Like, I seriously question sometimes some of these fans that are like, oh, wow, this isn't why I watch WWE. Well, you know what? It just made a killer promo, and it was great because now we're down the path of what's really going to happen to Bianca, because a lot of people are starting to speculate it's going to be Naomi costing Bianca either her WrestleMania run, her title match at WrestleMania, or whatever, which could be a very well possibility. But right now, we're also looking at the fact that Jade Cargill is coming for Naomi, and she's coming for blood.
Oh, you know what?
And the fact, like, this is what I saw when Jade showed up, because Bianca, at this point of the promo, after she finally got Naomi to finally crack and say, okay, I did it, after all the crap of her, which I'm sorry, first thing I heard when she said, I did it for you, I heard Rikishi way back when. I did it for The Rock.
I did it for The Rock, yeah.
But, when she finally fessed, and Naomi's Bianca's leaving, and you hear Naomi go, you ungrateful bitch. And Bianca at that point stops and starts looking back, and then you see Jade pull up. This is what I see when Jade got out there. She gets out there, and she stopped and almost like looked at Bianca for Do I have permission to handle my business? And she just go for it.
Yeah, Bianca.
So it almost makes me wonder if Jade was respecting the friendship she had there and with Bianca, and was basically respecting how she is with Naomi, and was like, do I have your good wishes to deal with this?
And then she went and dealt with it.
Yeah, oh, dude, her outfit too. Her outfit was fire. She actually posted on Instagram the full outfit, and it had a veil with blood on it, and it was pretty stellar. I definitely enjoyed the fact that she went out there, whipped them, and she does her move to Naomi, and you hear Naomi scream Bianca right before she hits the mat.
Yeah, I know, right? That was funny. It was like, what are you doing?
But there's another thing that a lot of people were pointing out was at Elimination Chamber, they were both wearing white, and she came out in black. And then the next SmackDown, they're wearing black, and she came out in white.
She came out in white this time, so we have to keep an eye on.
Keep on that, I guess. I don't necessarily think there's anything to it. I think they just did it, but who knows? Because right now we're in the hype, the pinnacle of Triple H throwing curveballs left and right to keep people off their game of guessing.
Right.
He ain't gonna have anybody be able to call this show. But anyway, so that was a very good promo.
Okay, so let's talk about this though before we move on, because Liv Morgan has inserted herself into this on X. She's posting, she's she says stuff like, y'all already know if I pushed Jade on that car, I would be squatting down taking a selfie with her, screaming I did it. She posts, I would actually love an apology, Bianca. I think we both can agree I'm owed one. I don't need it right this second. I'll give you a minute to digest. And then, and the way Trinity lied, framed me, and jumped me with Bianca weeks ago, all to now finally tell the truth. Girl, you should have just lied. That one's funny. And then I always wondered, what the F Jade was even doing to get pushed like that. So, Liv's inserting herself into the feud with everyone else,
Obviously.
So this whole thing, you've got Bianca, Naomi, Jade that's going to be playing around the title. You got Rhea and Io that's going to be playing around that title.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Liv, who's going to be in there somewhere.
If you don't think all of them are going to be gunning to try and all go to WrestleMania, you're all lying.
Well, this is winding up to be one of the better storylines.
It could very well line up to a six-person match. And if it goes that way, here's how it needs to be. And I swear to God, because if it's going to be a one-on-one, like anyone can get a pin, it's going to be insane. But if imagine for 1 minute, it's a ladder match. They put that belt high up in the air, put all 6 women in that ring.
Ooh, Triple H, are you listening to this one?
They have to climb up that ladder.
Oh, that'd be great.
And you have all 6 women destroying each other. It would be insanity. Not saying that it'll ever happen, but
that needs to happen.
It would. Here's what we have to do though. If we're really gonna do that, that means no disqualifications. These girls cannot DQ out.
No DQ. They have to get
and
the belt.
it will be huge.
Oh, that would be massive. Because that'd be a match for like main event, like first night main event or something. That'd be huge.
But talking about X, messages. I have to read this one, and I apologize for the bottom on my end because I wouldn't really ever post this, but this is just Randy Orton perfectly. And so Randy Orton on X posted, "For everyone complaining, just know that at John Cena turning heel is absolutely perfect. Think about it. What would John's last run be without the authentic John Cena sucks chants? He's been getting those 'we're just glad to see you' reactions for a while now. Now, if y'all will excuse me, I'm going to go nut in my wife. Viper out." Like, good god damn. Wow. It is so hard to take him seriously most of the time. Especially since, did it happen last night when Mello was talking shit and saying how Randy was on the couch playing Fortnite all for the last several months, and he comes up and he goes, "Fortnite's for kids. I was playing Elden
Ring.
Yeah, Elden Rings." It's like, you just can't take the man seriously. But it's hilarious in all the same, like all the right places too, because you've got them really. They're spicing the story just through social media, which is just insane.
Oh, that's too funny. Randy Orton's a hoot, man. All right, but that brings us to Braun Strowman and Solo Sikoa. Which was...
Oh, there we go. Okay. It was an okay match.
It was all right. But again, it wasn't...
It's kind of hard to come in, like, I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to come into matches and actually not be drowned out when right before your match,
Right.
they had a fire promo.
Oh, yeah,
They had Jade and them right there before your match, and it's like, it's nothing against them either, because you also have to think, this is the 1,000th time Braun's been fighting either Solo, Jacob, or one of the Bloodline again.
Yeah, but he ends up fighting Jacob anyway.
Yeah, Jacob interfered, which that's honestly how he won.
He won
DQ right there, which turned in. Well, this makes you wonder if they're going to have a huge WrestleMania moment themselves, or at least close to it, because they're really turning a point of Jacob and Braun almost having a monster
fight.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Strowman they did have that good part where Strowman puts Jacob through the table, so
obviously. And then next week he's going to come back and do something to Braun.
But nothing.
It was a what it was match. Nothing we can really wow about or write home about, because let's face it, it was just a filler match again. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say like these matches aren't good or the show's not good. It's just more of, we're at that lull moment to where the story's about to start shifting to the better side of the story, to road to WrestleMania. But we're in that moment. They've got to kind of fill it for a second, so it's about to just start going to fucking drive and hit the gas.
We got good stuff coming,
and they're definitely kind of turning a lot of heads with the new way they're announcing. Well, with the just the more public way they're announcing the Hall of Fame. Because look at how they did Triple H.
Yeah.
They did it out in the open. They did Kelly on the news with Undertaker there.
Right.
And then after this match, they played the moment Cody told Lex Luger he would be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Which was a kind of a nice, touching moment for them. nothing too crazy. I mean, I when it comes to the Hall of Fame announcements, it's whatever to me. Like, it's not really a crazy big deal for me on if you're going into the Hall of Fame, because I feel that most of the wrestlers that are notable will be in there sooner or later. So I mean, it's good for the ones that are getting in this year. Great for them. So definitely, definitely turning heads with the new way they're starting to announce these.
Yeah. All right, and then we had Chelsea Green and Mia Chin.
Which Chelsea, being Chelsea, dressed up as Cactus Jack for her street fight against Michin.
That's pretty cool, though.
Oh, not slamming it.
Pretty
She has her way of kind of calling out the greats herself that way and paying homage. I've heard this was a very good match between Michin and
This actually, in my opinion, this was probably the best match of the night.
best match of the night.
It was a street
And
fight.
again, I actually haven't even seen most of this match. I've seen the end, but I did not see a good portion of it just because, well, everything's being drowned out by Bianca crying and Naomi. And yeah, like seriously, that's like what my entire Instagram feed is right now. But I mean, Michin and Chelsea don't really have bad matches together. They have done quite well keeping the entertainment end on their end. But that led.
Hold on, I was looking for something real quick.
We're taking a short 5-minute break.
Because Chelsea pulled the move where she jumps across the ring into the trash can right into Mia Chin, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Piper was out there at that point holding Mia Chin up, and I can't remember what the move's called, though. Just went out of my brain. But that's an old school move. So it just went more into, the Cactus Jack vibe and everything.
Right.
But it was cool. She landed it real well. She kicked the shit out of that can. But, I mean, the whole thing was pretty good because, those two attack each other. And it's funny because, the crowd sits there and chants, we want tables, right? Freaking Chelsea. No, you're not getting tables. But then she got put through a table. So, but yeah, it was. And then she got put through the table. Mia Chin went for the pin. And then it was Alba Fry that saved her ass. Because Piper had gotten chased off by the PFAB? The heck's her name? The chick that runs around with Mia Chin.
Red hair?
Yeah.
BFAB.
BFAB. Yeah, sorry. I always forget her name. She got chased off, but then Alba Fry pops up as Chelsea's new
Secret Service.
Secret Hervis stuff. So Chelsea actually got her butt kicked. Mia Chin should have had the win, but
Right.
But again, Chelsea gets the win.
Gets the win.
And then we got our next fire promo of the evening. Our champion, Cody Rhodes, came out to speak to everybody.
With quite the shiner.
Oh my goodness. Actually, if you notice too, when he came out, he had cotton in his ear when he was coming out, and he pulled it out while he was walking up. But he was a really He was really subdued. Like, he wasn't doing his whoa, throwing up his arms and stuff.
Right.
Like, he kind of just came out.
Just pissed off.
But he is not happy.
I wouldn't.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't be too happy myself. To be honest with you.
understandable. He's coming, and he called Cena out.
Cena better be ready. Better have his A game ready.
This is probably going to be the other really good storyline going to WrestleMania.
Have this one. Honestly, I think the 4 championships are actually all going to be fire stories.
Well, the women's one is, well, besides Tiffany and
Charlotte but still.
The other one's like all of them, those 6 ladies. And then you got the stuff with Cena and Cody, which is real good. But then the Gunther Jay stuff
is getting better.
It's good stuff, but it's so decided already, We're seeing that match, It's just those two fighting the whole way, which is awesome.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. It's very, very awesome because, like we've talked about the last couple weeks with Gunther, he's upped his...
He's getting better.
His stuff, so it's actually gotten really, really good, but there's still a lot in play with the Cody stuff and the Cena stuff, and Cena's coming. He'll be back here
17th.
The 17th, so
they actually posted his so far scheduled agenda so far.
And they posted too back in, I think they said 2005, March 17th, he came out, and that's the first time he used his entrance music, the whatever it's called, the one he uses for years and years.
Your time is up.
Yeah. And now that he's about to change everything and come out, he's back on March 17th. So
he's gonna be Dogonomics.
Gonna be something.
We'll see. He's definitely going back to his old heel self.
So we'll see how that plays out. That'll get pretty good. But Cody,
Cody cut one hell of a promo, calls John Cena out, tells him come get some. Really tore into to John about how he was going to come out and talk and feel good about himself and put him in a high pedestal, and kind of told him, you do not have that high pedestal to stand on. So it's definitely ooh, I never saw this. Stone Cold apparently commented on the John Cena heel turn.
No, what'd he have to say?
Says, it had to happen sooner or later. Finally, it happened. It'll be interesting to see whether the people accept him as a heel, or has he turned himself more babyface. I think it remains to be seen as the story unfolds. Nonetheless, they've kicked off an epic build into WrestleMania, and that's what they do every single year. And that's by Stone Cold Steve Austin right there. Which, honestly, I think they're accepting him as a heel because, let's face it, Randy Orton's promo says John Cena, and that whole arena booed. So I think we're at that point. He's being accepted. I mean, God knows a lot of my real videos were showing just fans, families, and kids distraught and destroyed because he turned heel. Which, it doesn't change Cena, personally. If I had to say anything, I think it honestly made for a better story that's best for the business, just like John Cena said. What's best for business is I go to main event WrestleMania. Well, now he's doing a storyline that's best for business. Do I think he's going to actually retire as a heel? No. I think at some point he's going to be, he's basically going to be knocked, get some sense knocked into him.
We'll get Cena
I don't
back.
think it might happen at WrestleMania because, like we've been talking, I think he is probably going to win, and they're going to do a bigger redemption match at SummerSlam with him
Right.
losing.
So,
Which, let's face it, it wouldn't be make it a bad deal if he wins that title, carries it till SummerSlam as a heel, and then SummerSlam, the moment he loses the belt is when he gets his receipt. He gets the sense knocked into him, and almost like it's like as if the Rock's just disappointed him and like comes out and rock bottoms him and gives it to Cody, you know.
And remember, we do have to see the last part of the Rock's plan too. Whatever.
That's if it's even a thing. I don't know.
There's-
It could be a curveball that they just want us to keep guessing. I hope it's a thing. It's killing me because I keep seeing shit like, people guessing who's next, and it's gonna be what's his name, Ethan. Here, he's in NXT right now. Anyway, he used to be Cody's tag team partner on one of the independent shows. And it's like, so someone's theorizing that The Rock's just going to go turn all of Cody's friends against him. And it wouldn't be an insane thought because if you think about it, a friend, Brock Lesnar, came out to help Cody and immediately turned on him.
Yeah.
And then the next one was, there were 3 people who turned on him. The Rock. Was it The Rock? Hang on, I gotta find this one because there were 3 distinct people. I'm just gonna hang on 1 second. Where are you, you bastard? All right, hang on. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, okay, so it's Brock Lesnar. Shows him and Brock Lesnar being buddy-buddy, and then Brock Lesnar F5s him. Shows The Rock and him hugging it out, and then The Rock bitch slaps him. And then it shows Cena hugging him out and turn on him.
Right.
So right now they're saying 3 of the biggest names have turned on Cody Rhodes. So it makes you wonder if the game plan is to keep making his friends turn on him.
We will find out.
Yeah, definitely will. And I feel bad for anyone who decides to turn on him because Cody don't just take it. He'll come after you. All right, so after that Cody promo, that led into our next match. Say his name. Not that one.
No Joe.
I forgot to shut off my ringtone today. That was my bad.
No Joe Hendry.
Not Joe Hendry, but Drew versus Jimmy Uso. And let me get back to my review page. Sorry. There we go. All right. So, from what I am reading here, it wasn't the most exciting match. If I had to really determine anything, I'd say it was probably Jimmy getting powered over by Drew most of the match. And then getting kicked in the face.
Let's be honest. I started falling asleep.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
When I zoned out pretty hard.
I get that. I do that quite a bit.
I mean,
Full-time jobs and trying to watch this shit when we're already dead ass tired. It's hard.
it just wasn't that compelling, honestly.
It was another Jimmy Drew match that we got last week.
Oh, it just didn't. I don't even know why.
Like, the best thing about that match was Drew got his receipt. Damien came out and kicked him in the fucking face.
Yeah, Damien came
Which,
out.
let's face it, that's just stirring the pot for him and Damien at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. I'd like to see Damien in a title fight somewhere.
I want him.
Something.
I liked him as El Campeon.
I know.
I liked him in
too.
the Raw. I liked him on the Raw brand. I don't know why they switched him over to SmackDown. I almost want to say they need to rectify that and take it back, because
I know he's kind of been put like just out of the picture.
well, it almost makes me wonder if like he's gonna go to SmackDown, and after WrestleMania is where they're gonna turn and change the story. Because let's face it, I mean, he could go for the U.S. title, which, you know, that kind of takes us into our next match, which is LA versus Shinsuke for the U.S. title. And if anything, I heard that one was a pretty decent match, good main event. Shinsuke and LA went at it pretty well. And not to like really skim through this fast, but just to get to my point so I don't forget what we were talking about with Damien. Knight wins for his second round as the U.S. title, which honestly I'm excited for. I like Knight better as the title holder, but look at it this way. You have Damien versus LA Knight. That would be a killer match. That would be a killer feud.
Would be. That actually really would be.
So who knows? Maybe they're eyeing him to go after the U.S. title. Maybe they're eyeing him to go after Cody. You just don't know. Like,
I'd just like to see him in a title.
I would love that.
Damien deserves.
He deserves a lot. I loved his run as the
Like
world heavyweight.
And I mean, maybe there's a run after WrestleMania coming up for him somewhere.
I think there will be,
But
because, like I was saying, like them immediately turning him into going from Raw to SmackDown was just, I think it was more or less that they needed to get him and Finn away from each other. Not necessarily because of real shit or anything, but that story was over. And so they moved him to SmackDown. But I think SmackDown could be a good opportunity. Because let's face it, and no one wants to hear it, but Cody can't hold on to that title his entire life. He can't.
No, he's going to have the Cena stuff.
So I bet you, well, like, look at it this way. Let's just twist it here a little bit. Just out of a thought, not necessarily me theorizing anything, but say Cody loses. Cody wants his title back, but all of a sudden, Damien goes after the champion, John Cena. So now it makes a big feud for SummerSlam, John Cena versus Damien. Right. Damien's the one who kicks the teeth in and knocks sense into Cena, because this kid who's only won the belt once just beat the 17-time world heavyweight champion, or WWE champion, like it was his birthday.
Right.
Which wouldn't be a bad way to knock some sense into him. Then you give Damien the year, let him run with that title, and, you know, if anything, maybe he drops it at the next WrestleMania, making a bigger main event. You don't know. There's a lot of things that can change. And right now, we do know Damien he's eyeing a belt. Mm-hmm. He's going to go after it.
He'll get something.
But anyway, so we'll get back to the Knight
Shinsuke.
Yes, God, brain fart. Match. You know, from what I understand, it was a pretty solid match. The review here states that the ending wasn't very easy to predict. So that makes me understand that they were possibly swapping back and forth, going down and jumping out. So, good, solid match. Oh, Charles Robinson ended up getting misted by mistake. Well, that's Shinsuke's fault.
Mm-hmm. But Knight got the win. So
Knight got the win, which is a big deal, even when you get a ref running into the ring to count.
So.
And glad to see him have that belt back. I think he's the one to really make that belt something for a minute. Shinsuke, kind of like me and Bryce were talking about it, he won it, and he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything, yeah.
Nothing happened. It almost seemed pointless that he won it. So
Knight's got it back.
Let's face it, too. Also, to keep this in mind, they're going to be doing the draft fairly soon for the shows. So anything and everything right now can change come draft. So Damian might go back to...
Yeah, he might be back on Raw anyway.
The only people who are stuck in their spots are the champions.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever's champion come that time, they won't go. But anyone and everyone else can be drafted. I tell you right now, though, I can't wait until Thursday where I can pre-purchase the 2K25. I'm excited for that one. They have actually been pretty damn good games the last few years. They've done a lot better job to at least compel me.
Yeah.
Which, people might argue with me that they've always been a good game, where it's like, for me, it's like you want to tell these, the ones that are like, oh, the 2Ks are the great ones. No, go play No Mercy on N64. Go play, Here Comes the Pain on PlayStation. Go play, Smackdown versus Raw on PlayStation. Go play the oldies. And you'll see what good games and good, character creation stories they had.
Yeah.
Because they really did. And then the 2Ks just, I don't know, they went oomph. And now they're starting to get the storylines better again. So definitely enjoying those games. And I am looking forward to playing them.
Cool. Well, that was Smackdown for the week. Like we said, the promos were much better than the fights.
Right?
What?
There's something on my email news report thing, or Gmail, whatever, page. Sportskeeda posted this: Dominic Mysterio to bring his godfather into WWE after 33 years to fix the Judgment Day, ? Exploring potential returns. I am trying. Stupid thing is, I know they've said who his godfather is, but I guarantee I can't remember. Okay, might bring his real life godfather, Conan, to WWE to settle things in the Judgment Day. Well, that'd actually kind of be cool. Be interesting.
Interesting. We'll have to see.
Yes. All right, well, that is the show for tonight.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will catch you on the next go-around.